following program is sponsored. The opinions and statements made by the hosts and guests do not necessarily reflect the views of WBOB or its parent company, the Chesapeake Portsmouth Broadcasting Corporation.
It's time for Real Estate Radio with Angela and Howard. Angela and Howard talk about what's new in real estate and answer your buying and selling questions. To participate in today's show, call 222-TALK. That's 222-8255. And now, here are Angela and Howard.
Good morning, everybody. This is such a beautiful Saturday morning. Look at the blue skies, Howard. The weather's fantastic. This is such a great season. This is my favorite season of the year. I love the fall. The air is cool. The leaves are changing color. Well, not here, but I was in North Carolina this week.
Yeah, you took the week off. You had a well-deserved vacation with a girlfriend of yours. You went to see, tell everybody where you went.
The Biltmore House in Asheville, North Carolina, and it was stunning. It was all dressed up for Christmas, like 55 Christmas trees, and it was just so beautiful there. And we actually stayed on the campus the whole time.
On the campus?
Oh, it's huge. It's 8,000 acres.
And they called it a campus, really?
No, I did.
8,000 acres or 2,000 acres?
8,000 acres.
That's a lot of acres.
Well, he had much more than that, but he sold a lot of it off to the state for a national park.
Wow.
So, I mean, he had like 150 acres, 150,000 acres.
That's a lot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now he has 8,000 acres.
So how many workers did it take to build that house and the grounds?
1,000 workers to build the house. And it takes 2,400 workers right now to run everything that's there. Because you have the house, and then you have hotels, and you have farms, and you have, I mean, if you just think about it, drivers, there's shuttle buses, there's people giving tours, there's people cleaning up all the time. I mean, 2,400 employees it takes to run.
It's a vineyard too, isn't it?
There's a vineyard. There's farm. They try to do farm to table. They lease out space. They use the area, the farmland, the acreage for movies.
Well, I think when you retire,
part of Forrest Gump was done there. I thought you should know that.
I didn't know that.
You think he's running across America? He's not. He's running across the Biltmore campus.
Well, I think you should become a tour guide after you retire.
Oh, I could. Oh, my gosh.
From now.
I would be so happy working there. I'm telling you what. I mean, every person that we encountered, like waitresses at the restaurants and stuff, they were all like so genuinely concerned, were we having a good time?
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And you did have a good time.
There's gift shops.
Right?
I mean, everybody treated you so nice. It was a very, very common theme that people seemed quite genuinely interested if you were enjoying your stay.
So you had a good time.
Oh, my gosh. I had a great time.
Spend a lot of money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit the spa a couple times.
Oh, a couple of times.
Couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a massage. You're all relaxed now.
Mm-hmm. Had my feet done.
Okay. So you're come back. You're ready to go.
Sort of still relaxed.
Okay.
Sort of still in relax mode. So.
Well, before you get back to work, there's something really, really important that we have to do.
Okay. What's that?
Today is Veterans Day. And we have a bit of a tradition here on Real Estate Radio in that we give a bit of a tribute to our veterans and to their families. So I want to give a shout out to all of our veterans as well as active service members and their families and thank them for the service to our great country that we live in. You know, we have so many wonderful freedoms and protections here in America, and it is due to the brave men and women who have served our country in the past and who are currently serving. So, you know, probably every single one of our listeners personally knows a veteran or an active service member. And I would suggest that our listeners, every single one of you, pick up the phone today and call one of those service members or veterans and thank them for the service to our country. You know, my dad, as I've told many of our listeners before, he's 92 years old. He was a veteran or is a veteran of World War II. Angela, your real dad, who's passed away now, he was a veteran.
He was in the Navy.
Navy.
Yep.
My dad was in the Navy, and your stepdad was also a veteran.
Yep. He's in the Army. I'll call him today.
Yeah, and he's a regular listener on the show.
He is.
But again, probably every one of our listeners knows someone. So call them and thank them for their service. You know, and it doesn't matter whether they ever carried a weapon. You know, some of them were cooks, some of them were mechanics, some of them flew airplanes, some of them, they did all sorts of things. It doesn't matter what they did in the military. They all helped make our country great, and we appreciate it. And, you know, you don't have to have a special day like Veterans Day or Veterans Day weekend to thank a service member. Anytime you see a member in uniform, just say, thanks for your service. You know, Angela and I come across people in our daily workings whenever we, look up someone and see, for example, that they have a VA loan.
Yes.
That we always say, thanks for your service. We appreciate that.
Oh,
or we run into a customer that we know that was a veteran. We want to thank them. And it's not just them that we thank, because there are other people that serve our country as well. It's the police officers. It's the first responders. They put their lives on the line many, many times for us every single day. So show them the respect that they deserve. Thank them for what they do. Again, we live in this great, great country. There are so many things that people complain about our country, but it's still the greatest country in the world to live in.
I want to add something.
Go ahead.
You know, what's really wonderful and beautiful is how many women there are in service now. And I had the privilege of helping a veteran settle into the area from somewhere else. And, I had inquired with her about what did she do when she was in the service. And she just played it down, and she didn't really want to talk about it that much, just kind of said that she did some engineering stuff. So, okay. So then, a lot of the veterans get their mortgages through USAA.
Is this the colonel you're going to tell me about? Okay, I'm jumping ahead. Go ahead.
He's ruining my story.
Okay.
You just ruined my story.
Okay.
Stop ruining my story. Yes. So I'm talking to USAA about the loan. And then the guy says, well, I'll need to call the colonel and get permission. And I'm like, what does her colonel have to do with that? And he goes, ma'am, she is the colonel. I was like, oh, I had no idea. I don't think I was treating her with enough respect while she was in my car. Thought she was an engineer. But anyway, so she, there's a lot of women out there today that have served our wonderful country in a lot of capacities, and certainly in big, big roles and in little roles and everywhere. So, it's just very exciting that everyone can serve.
Yeah, well, we had the young couple just a few months ago, the very young couple that are in their 20s, under 25.
Yeah, like 24, both. One was 24, one was 25.
Both pilots, one a jet pilot and one a helicopter pilot.
Yep.
She was the helicopter pilot, and both serving proudly. They bought a house here off of Bay Meadows.
Yeah.
So many people do so many things for a great country, and we appreciate it.
We get the chance to meet a lot of people because of the Navy bases being here.
Right.
So we really do. I just feel so honored by that and having the opportunity to help them find, great housing while they're stationed here in Jacksonville.
Yeah. So again, my challenge to everyone today is pick up the phone after the show today and call someone you know that is in the military or former military. Call them up and say thank you for your service. After the show today, we're doing a home inspection with a former Marine who was in for like 20 years.
He's so smart.
Charles Gifford, I'm sorry. Gifford,
Charles Gifford, Marisbeck.
He's going to do an inspection for my son's house. My son's going to be buying a house, so I'll be thanking Charles for working today and for the service to our country. And when we come back after the break, I'm going to tell you a really interesting story about an inspection that Charles did for another one of our customers yesterday. And the hint for that is Superman.
Okay.
So what powers did Superman have other than flying?
I know.
Okay, so stay with us, everybody, to hear that interesting story. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. We've got a contest, too. Hey, WBOB listeners. It's your realtor on the radio, Howard Vergalis of Watson Realty Corp. Angela and I don't just do the radio show. We are active realtors. When it's time to buy, we will interview you to determine your specific housing needs. Distance to work, style of home, school needs, distance to place of worship, kids' activities, lifestyles, number of bedrooms, budget, and so much more. In short, we do our very best to find you your perfect home. We won't waste your time showing you houses that don't fit your needs. Whether you're moving up, moving into your first home, or now an empty nester, you can trust us for the most important purchase of your life. It's what we do. It's what we'll do for you. Experience the Angela and Howard Team Advantage. Call us at 421-7950. There's finally a mortgage lender in Jacksonville that sees financing differently. With 20 years' experience, CMG Financial understands that the most important purchase in your life, your home, deserves the right mortgage. Tim McConnell at CMG Financial will work to customize the best financing option for you. Angela and I recommend CMG Financial to all our customers. Give Tim a call at 528-2103. That's 528-2103. CMG Financial is a registered trade name of CMG Mortgage, Inc., NMLS number 1820, and licensed as a mortgage lender servicer by the Office of Financial Regulation, number MLD 375, individual MLS number 181046.
Are you buying a property being sold by HUD? As a buyer, you can select Watson Title Services of North Florida as your settlement agent. Avoid having to deal with out-of-town companies and make sure you get the world-class customer service of Watson Title Services that Angela and Howard have come to expect. Call them at 461-3220 when you're looking at buying a HUD property to ensure your purchase goes through as smoothly as possible. That's 461-3220. Angela and Howard do. Angela Walker and Howard Vergalis of Watson Realty Corp. not only come to you every Saturday morning, but they would also like to work with you when you need them the most. That is, when you need to buy or sell a home. They pride themselves in giving you their very best effort every day and in every way. There are many realtors in the First Coast to choose from. Let them show you the Howard and Angela Team Advantage. Call them at 421-7950 or email them at realestateradio@yahoo.com. This segment of Real Estate Radio with Angela and Howard is brought to you by CMG Financial. For answers to your North Florida real estate questions, call into the show at 222-TALK. That's 222-8255.
Welcome back, everybody. We are so excited to be here on Real Estate Radio with Angela and Howard on this beautiful Saturday morning. It is cool air outside. It is gorgeous.
A wonderful, as you call it. What kind of day do you call it?
Oh, it's a Chamber of Commerce kind of day.
That's right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right.
So I'm interested to know, you right before we faded off, you said there's a contest. What's the contest?
There is a contest. Okay.
Tell me.
The contest is this. What is the least affordable housing city in North America? Simple as that.
I think we should tell everybody that I guessed like 10 answers.
Mm-hmm.
They were all wrong.
And it has to do with the cost of the median cost of housing compared to income, compared to household income.
I just looked at the answer. No wonder I was wrong.
Well, everybody will know.
Eventually.
Eventually. Okay.
They'll get it.
And what's the number to call?
222-TALK to me. You have to call.
And the number is?
222-TALK. TALK, which is 8255. So that's area code 904-222-8255. Call in and guess.
All right.
The city.
And before the break, also, I mentioned that we're going to come back after the break and talk about somebody's calling already.
Because they know.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't wait to see what people guess.
All right. Well, before I talk about Superman, really, I'm going to talk about Superman.
I know.
Yeah.
Charles is going to love to know that you compared him to Superman. That's all I can say. His ego is going to love that.
Charles is our home inspector.
He is my Superman.
All right. Do we have a caller? All right. The name didn't show up on the board, but good morning, caller.
Hey, this is Levi. I call y'all once a week, it seems like.
Hi,
well,
Levi.
how are you today?
All right. I wanted to guess. All I know is when I lived in California, it was pretty bad. How about San Francisco?
It is not San Francisco.
That's what I guessed. That was my first guess.
San Francisco actually came in number 3.
Okay.
Good guess.
All right. Have a good time, guys.
All right, thanks a lot.
No questions.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Levi. We appreciate it. All right. So I talked about Superman. Now, what magic power, not magic power, but what superpower does Superman have other than flying, Angela?
X-ray vision.
X-ray vision. Okay.
Yes.
Well, yesterday I went into a home inspection with Charles, our home inspector, and we went into this townhouse. It was a beautiful townhouse.
Yes.
And from all outward appearances, it was in great shape. Now, there was a little bit of wood rot around the back door frame.
Yep.
Which
and
happens
I saw
sometimes.
that when I picked it. I was with them when they picked it out. Yes.
But then he saw something. He's got this keen eye.
He does.
And he started doing something that I've never seen him do before. He took a screwdriver out and he took the plug cover off of the plug, that's about 18 inches off the floor. And then he started poking next to the plug. I said, Charles, what are you doing? I've never seen you do that before. He said, I'm looking for evidence of the wood behind the wall being disintegrated. And I said, what caused you to do that? Because, and by the way, the front of the house was stucco,
right?
The cement stucco. He said that when I looked up about 8 feet, this house had 10-foot ceilings, the wall just didn't look quite right. And I looked at it, it looked kind of fine to me. So he took a flashlight and he shone it inside the plug receptacle there. And there were tiny flakes of black. And the black, he said, was that the flake board, what he called OSB, is the 4x8 sheets of not plywood, but OSB sheathing, had apparently gotten wet and had sort of disintegrated and fallen into the receptacle box.
Ha!
And he noticed that, or he figured that from just looking at the wall, and it just didn't seem right.
Now, that is an experienced home inspector.
So then what he did, further down, now this was a carpeted house, and it had brand new carpeting in it. He pulled back the edge of the carpet, and you know how the edge of the carpet has carpet strips?
Yes, tack strips.
Tack strips. Well, the new carpeting, the carpet person that just laid the carpeting had put in new carpet strips, but he left some of the old. It was all brown and disintegrated. Water had gotten in. Now, it wasn't flood water, because flood water comes in from the bottom, and as I said, part of the wall had apparently disintegrated.
Yeah.
I said, Charles, how did this occur? And there was a covering over the front door.
Yeah.
And it had a opposite V shape. It was like a cathedral cover over that. He said, well, rainwater had apparently hit that, come off the sides, run down, hit the window on either side of the front door, and gotten into the window frame, run down the window frame inside the window, and had apparently disintegrated some of the wood over time.
Wow.
And then he pulled out an infrared device.
Yes.
That you shine on the wall, because apparently the insulation also had gotten wet and compressed the fiberglass insulation.
Yes.
And he could tell from that. This is where I got into the X-ray vision. And And he could determine that the fiberglass insulation behind it was all wet and compressed, and some of the wall underneath was letting more heat through. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, because you see a temperature differential.
You see a temperature differential from that part of the wall compared to the wall 2 feet away. Mm-hmm. And from that, he could tell that a lot of the wall had disintegrated. And the same thing on the other side of the door.
How about that?
And he said it's fixable. It's all fixable. And the maximum that it could cost would probably be $6,000. Now, it may be only $2,000, but the maximum would be $6,000. I said, well, what's the difference? He said, well, how you do it, how you fix it is you take off part of the exterior wall. And then you see, okay, well, how much of the plywood or OSB is destroyed? Is it a path that's 6 inches wide, or is it 2 feet wide, or is it 4 feet wide? And then you take off the fiberglass. How much of that needs to be replaced? And then you see, is it the drywall how much of that is wet, and does it have mold on it? And does that need to be taken off and replaced into the inside of the house? And it all started because he noticed that there was a spot on the drywall up about 6 feet that just didn't look and feel quite right.
Yeah.
Folks,
Superman.
This is what I want to say. This is why you get a home inspector.
Absolutely.
To inspect your home. Now,
Yes.
It doesn't mean that the house was going to fall down.
No.
It doesn't mean that. But could it mean that over time someone was going to move in and get sick because there may have been mold that could occur and get into the house?
Or
It
termites,
could be.
because they like wet wood.
It could be.
Yep.
Now, this is something that we could ask the homeowner or the seller of the house to fix.
Yes.
Or this could be a negotiation thing that we as the realtors of the buyers could negotiate to, I don't know, maybe split the cost with the seller. All sorts of things could result from this. It could be that the buyer's not going to buy it. All sorts of things could result. But it's important for the buyer to know that there are issues with the house.
Yes.
This is why you get a qualified home inspector to look at the house before you buy. This is why you need a realtor. This is why you need a home inspector. And this is why you get a home inspector that has the right equipment. Really interesting story. You should have been there to see him just continue to do the detective work to find this.
Yeah.
Really, really interesting to be there and to watch this. And I'm really glad that Charles is going to be there today again with me and my son, who is going to be buying his first home.
Yeah, very exciting.
A house that, again, looks terrific, well-maintained. The house was built in 1984 and had many, many updates for the sellers. But I'm sure Charles is going to find something. It may be minor, and maybe it'll be nothing. But that's what he's there to look at.
Well, it's interesting what you just said. I'm sure he'll find something. But you used him while I was out of town.
Yes.
And you were at a farm.
Yes.
And the house was 2 years old. And what did he say to you? There is nothing. There is nothing.
That's right. There was the first time that he found nothing. Well, actually, we did find something, but then we fixed it. And this was the brown water that came out of the well. In fact, we can talk about that when we come back, because it was interesting, the result of that brown water coming out of the well and how we discovered what it was, and we resolved it with the homeowner that was there.
Yes.
And it was an interesting thing.
It was interesting. I'd never heard of that before.
So we're going to tell you about that one, too, how some things that at first look like, uh-oh, really are not uh-ohs sometimes.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about that when we get back.
Somebody still needs to call and tell us what the least affordable city is in North America.
All right. Mm-hmm. So stay with us, everybody. We're going to be right back. We got more stuff to talk about. We're going to answer your questions, too. Call us 822. We're going to...
Ed Dean, Mike Gallagher, Dennis Prager, The Savage Nation, Mark Levin, WBOB, AM 600 and FM 101.1. The Answer.
With SRN News, I'm Val Dior. Longtime Republican political operatives are fearful that the GOP might lose one of its Senate seats in Alabama in spite of Roy Moore's denials that he had a sexual encounter with a 14-year-old girl several decades ago. Moore calls the accusations nothing more than typical Democrat distraction. The Senate GOP's campaign arm has formally ended its fundraising agreement with Moore just a month before the December 12th special election. The parents of a 26-year-old Chinese scholar abducted and killed in Illinois had hoped to stay in the U.S. until the remains of their daughter were found, but after 4 months of agony, they're ready to return to China, where they will wait for answers half a world away. The 28-year-old suspect faces the death penalty. Today, we celebrate those brave men and women that have fought for our great country, once called Armistice Day, Veterans Day, today. This is SRN News.
Are you putting your retirement savings in a 401k, IRA, or investment account? Then I have one word of advice. Stop. Many experts warn of a stock market crash any day now. And if it's anything like the last two crashes, you could lose 50% or more of your hard-earned savings in the Wall Street casino. Can you afford to lose half of your retirement savings again? Hey, you don't have to lose a penny because there's a better, safer way to save for retirement. And you can learn all about it in a free report. This is the report Wall Street and big banks desperately hope you never see. Why? Because this method continues to grow your money even when the market tumbles. It lets you take back control of your money and finances, and it gives you penalty-free access to your savings. Plus, it beats the pants off any 401k or IRA. These are uncertain times, so get the information you need today to guarantee your retirement security. To get this free report, go to bankonyourself.com right now. That's bankonyourself.com. Bankonyourself.com.
Does your well water leave brown rust stains on clothes and fixtures? Does it smell bad? Get rid of it all with the HydroCare Iron 300X. HydroCare's multi-stage process gets rid of iron, sulfide, and odors. HydroCare is an easily installed compact system without tanks, backwashing, or servicing, and only costs $799. You'll be amazed how fresh and clean well water can be. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, visit goodclearwater.com. GoodClearWater.com.
The original Tunis restaurant at 7400 103rd Street and now also at 847 Dunn Avenue is open 7 days a week, 10 till 10. The original Kronos gyros, shrimp, wings, fish, oysters, and more. Dine in, use the drive-thru, or call ahead and your order will be ready. Tunis 103rd is now delivering through Uber Eats. Talk with Z, the owner and founder, how your church or civic group can work with the original Tunis restaurant for your next fundraiser. The original Tunis restaurant, 7400 103rd Street, and now open at 847 Dunn Avenue.
Whenever a mainstream media reports about me, it says conservative talk show host Dennis Prager. But no liberal in the media, none, not radio, not television, is ever identified as the liberal columnist, for example. Because liberal and left is normative, conservative is the outlier. So it must be identified. It is like a dog with 3 legs.
Dennis Prager, weekdays at noon on WBOB, The Answer. Stuck in traffic? WBOB has The Answer.
Roads are looking good this morning. As for the weather, well, a little bit of rain in the offing all weekend long. Otherwise, mostly cloudy and breezy today. High 68, 40% chance of showers. Dropping down to 30 tonight and tomorrow. Mostly cloudy. Low tonight, 62. High tomorrow, 74. And then 20% chance of showers Sunday night and Monday with a high then of 62. It's currently 64 at WBOB. AM 600, The Answer.
Let's return to Real Estate Radio with Angela and Howard. For answers to your North Florida real estate questions, call into the show at 222-TALK. That's 222-8255.
My goodness, Howard.
What?
Well, we're just like bickering or something.
No.
I'm trying to talk to you and you have your headset on. You're not listening to me.
I'm always listening to you.
No, you
it's
weren't. You're just watching my lips go.
Not to. Ooh, that's
that could
right.
Be taken not nice.
No, it's hard not to, because you always give me such great information.
I do give you great information
between the segments of the show. Hey, I got cut off before I could say what number to call back.
Oh yeah, for the contest. 222-TALK, which is 8255.
Yeah,
and that's area code 904. So 904-222-8255.
Yeah, what city in North America is the most expensive for housing? And it takes into consideration the cost of the median price of housing versus income.
North America is the key.
Well, I don't know if that's a key or not, but it's North America, and San Francisco was guessed, and San Francisco came in number 3. Mm-hmm. So I see that there is a flashing light here in the studio, which means that somebody is calling. And then we're going to get back to that
brown water.
To that brown water.
And then we need to talk about Hurricane Irma, because something really cool's happened here in Duval County.
Yeah. All right, we got Russell. Good morning, Russell.
Yes. I was thinking on the most expensive city was actually either Boston or Fargo.
Fargo,
North Dakota. Yes, because of the cost of living has increased so much because of the oil boom.
That's right.
Well, it's interesting.
It's not
Fargo,
the right answer, but he's right about the Wells Fargo.
Well, it's neither Boston nor Fargo, but it's interesting. I had a discussion yesterday with someone about North Dakota, and 3-4 years ago, Fargo's home prices did go up absolutely dramatically.
Yes.
Because there was a shortage of housing due to oil.
Yes.
But then the oil prices did come down, and actually housing prices have now taken a dramatic decrease. So a lot of people that bought houses a couple of years ago and 3-4 years ago that paid $400,000-$500,000, those houses now are half price of what they were.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. So, but that was a really good guess.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they weren't correct, but I appreciate you calling. Do you have any questions for us on real estate while we're talking here?
Actually, I'm intrigued to hear about the brown water, because we've got a heavy iron. We live in the west side, and we have a heavy iron problem. So that's. I didn't know if it had to do anything with iron.
No, it doesn't, but it makes kind of an interesting story. This was a 15-acre farm, and of course they're on well water. And when you have a well, the water comes into like a holding tank, an aeration tank, where sediment that comes up from the well kind of falls to the bottom. Well, the night before, the lady, and she has some sheep. Not sheep. She has some goats.
Yeah.
She wanted to put some water into the goat pen.
Right.
And she turned on the water, and she unfortunately left the water on all night.
Forgot.
Backflow preventer.
No. So what happened was, not only did the goat trough thing fill up with water, but it overflowed. So all of the water that was in the aeration tank came out. Now, the well pumped more water into this tank, but then in the morning when Charles, our inspector, came, what they do is they test, how much flow there is. So he turned on all the sinks and all the tubs, and all of a sudden, brown water started coming into the bathtub. And it's like, the homeowner happened to be there, and I called her in. I pushed the stopper on the tub, and I said, "You may have a problem." So she came in, and she looked, and she said, "Uh-oh," and then she said, "I know what happened. My husband's going to kill me." And she told me the story about what she had done the night before. And she said, it flooded the goat area. And she said, what happened, she explained what I just told you, and she said, when they use up all the water in the tank, all the sediment then gets pumped out. So what Charles did is Charles the inspector, he went out to that, to the aeration tank, looked in it, and sure enough, now it was as clean as a whistle because all of the sediment that normally is in there then gets pumped out. So then we emptied out the tub, let it drain out, turned on the water again, and it was just absolutely fine. Yeah. So that's what happened. It just every once in a while, if you get down to the bottom, it cleans out all the sediment, and it comes out through your pipes into whatever you're using. So it was okay and no problem. And that was the first house, by the way, that our home inspector, and we've used Charles for years. Yeah. That was the very first house that Charles said he found absolutely nothing wrong with that house.
Yes, it was exciting.
Yeah, it was great.
Well built and well maintained.
Yeah, it was a true custom home. But we thought at the beginning, there's a problem. Now, there's another funny part to this story. And the funny part to the story is that the buyer who had a farm in Maryland, one of the farms that he looked at in Maryland that he ended up not buying was that they turned on the water, and the house had been vacant for a while. They turned on the water, and the water started to come out very, very slowly, and it started to come out brown. And then about 30 seconds later, it stopped coming out. The water totally stopped. And they eventually found out that the well was dry and the mud totally clogged up all of the pipes in the house.
Oh, my gosh.
And they had called a plumber. The owner had called a plumber and had found out that it would cost about $20,000 to redo not only the well, but all of the piping in the house because they were totally clogged up with mud. So as he was standing there in this new farm, seeing the brown water come out, he was thinking, oh, my God, the same thing is happening on this new farm place that he was buying. But he had this big sigh of relief.
Yeah, good thing that wasn't it, huh?
When we figured out what the problem was. So he and his wife and his 4 children are very, very happy that this is no problem whatsoever. So anyway, Russell, do you have any other questions while you're still on the phone with us? I just thought I'd share those stories with you.
That's intriguing. It's always, sometimes it's the mystery things that drive you insane too.
It is. So, Russell, are you a veteran?
No, sir, I'm not. Well, I'm married.
That's being a veteran in a different kind of way, isn't it, Russell?
I have the best wife in the world, so I guess that would be, I've got the best campaign in the world, so.
Well, that's good.
That's awesome.
Well, I don't know if you listened at the beginning of the show, but what I suggested was that you probably know someone who's a veteran, and we live in this great country.
I guess, yeah. That was it. Oh, no, I was just...
All right, I'm going to let him go. He's talking to somebody else. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the show. And so hopefully that was an interesting story for everyone.
I want, Howard, for us to go right into talking about Hurricane Irma.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's history, but it's not because there's some good news that you want to tell everybody.
It is. Okay. So, back during Hurricane Irma, if you had to get a new roof as a result of that hurricane, I'm going to be certain you were not happy about that, right?
Right.
All right. Well, you or your roofing contractor, one of you would have had to get a roofing permit, right?
Right.
Well, a bit of good news. If you live in Duval County, the cost of the permit's going to be waived or refunded for anyone who pulled a permit between September 11th and December 31st that was a result of that hurricane. Isn't that exciting?
That's good.
Yep. City's doing their part to help everybody.
All right. You just have to file a request with the City of Jacksonville Building Inspection Division by February 28th.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you need more details on that, just give us a call and we can help you with that.
We can help.
All right, we're done with the third segment of the show, but we got more to talk about, so stay with us, everybody. Call us with the guess to the contest, which is, what is the most expensive city in North America for housing? So give us a call at 222-8255, and we will be right back. Good morning, WBOB listeners. It's your realtor on the radio, Howard Vergalis of Watson Realty Corp. Angela and I want to thank you for tuning in with us for our 5th year now. It's been such a great pleasure to be on the radio with you, giving you advice on buying and selling, as well as answering your questions on the air. Thank you so much for the trust that you have in us as professional, experienced realtors with over 20 years of combined experience. We want you to know that when it's time to sell your home, we want to be your realtor. We will focus on your home, your family, and your time frame. Our team will customize a marketing plan to give you the best exposure to get you the best price and have the best selling experience possible. Whether it's a condo or a house, a short sale or a regular sale, a $200,000 home or a mansion, you will get the same great service. Call us at 421-7950 and join the multitudes of others that have experienced the Angela and Howard team advantage. There's finally a mortgage lender in Jacksonville that sees financing differently. With 20 years experience, CMG Financial understands that the most important purchase in your life, your home, deserves the right mortgage. Tim McConnell at CMG Financial will work to customize the best financing option for you. Angela and I recommend CMG Financial to all our customers. Give Tim a call at 528-2103. That's 528-2103. CMG Financial is a registered trade name of CMG Mortgage, Inc., NMLS number 1820, and licensed as a mortgage lender servicer by the Office of Financial Regulation, number MLD 375, individual MLS number 181046. One of the most critical parts of buying or selling your home is the very last process. That's the closing process. Angela and I recommend Watson Title Services. They have the experience to handle any issue that can come up, and there is never an upfront fee to the seller. Whether you are using a realtor with the sale of your home or not, always ask for Watson Title Service to handle your closing. We do. Call them at 461-3220. That's Watson Title Services.
This segment of Real Estate Radio with Angela and Howard is brought to you by Watson Title Services of Northeast Florida. For answers to your North Florida real estate questions, call into the show at 222-TALK. That's 222-8255.
Welcome back, everybody. I don't know why this show is just flying by.
It always flies by because you're so much fun to be with on the other side of the table here.
Yeah, people should hire me to go house hunting because I got lots of testimonials of people who would tell you how much fun it is to go off with me house hunting.
You are. I have heard that from a lot of people. You are great fun. In fact, we closed on a house yesterday from a couple off of a phone call. They called in. They're from upstate New York.
Yes.
They're moving here. He is a world famous conductor who speaks how many languages?
7.
That's there's a word for that.
Polyglot.
Oh,
polyglot.
Polyglot.
Yes.
And
because you're a wordsmith.
And I forget what she does. She
is his manager.
She's his manager. Okay. And they're moving to I'll just say they're just moving here. Okay.
Yep, Orange Park.
They found this great house, and they had a ball with you, didn't they?
Yeah, we had a good time.
Found a house in 2 days, a perfect house for them.
Yeah.
And
I got their home inspection done before they ever left.
And Charles did their home inspection too, didn't he?
Well, Ben did. He's on Charles' team, yeah.
Yeah. And beautiful, beautiful home in Orange Park Country Club. Mm-hmm. And we did a remote closing yesterday.
Yes. So they didn't come for the closing.
But that's okay.
Yep. So it was easy.
Yeah.
And lots of fun.
Hey, we want to do a We Can Help segment.
All right.
That happens sometime. These questions come to us from our listeners and customers, and we thought we'd share them with you from time to time. So we entitled this, We Can Help. And the one was, why isn't my house selling? So I met Thursday with a seller that I had met with a little over a month ago. Now, he had a rental property that was time to sell. He just, he's getting a little older, and he just didn't want to manage it anymore. Now, the tenant had moved out, and he had the home listed with another realtor for 3 months, 3 solid months, and almost no showings and no good offer. So we had gotten in contact with each other, and I looked over the listing, and it was actually not a big surprise to me that he didn't get many showings. The photos were poor. That didn't really attract anyone. And then when I went to the house, there were a few things about it that if I was going in as a buyer, I'd say, this just doesn't. Now, the house looked better than the photos, but the photos wouldn't have attracted me to go look at it in the first place. But when I went there, it just didn't attract me. The color of the carpeting was just wrong. It wasn't in bad condition, the color of the carpet. It just wasn't a color that people want. So I suggested, I put a thought in his head. I said, you don't owe much on this house. I said, do you ever watch TV shows where they flip houses? And he said, yeah. I said, those people buy houses and then they fix them up and they sell them and make money. I said, you already own this. Why don't you do your own flip? And he looked at me. I said, yeah, because you don't have to spend a lot of money. There's nothing structural that you need to do here. Do your own flip. So he looked at me again. I said, paint the house, put in new carpet. You need some new light fixtures. Put in new toilet seats. Your countertops are all stained. One of your bath vanities is broken. Put in a couple of new mirrors. And he said, how about this garage floor? It looks awful. I said, yeah, you can do that too. Put the flecks in it that some people do. Paint it gray and put the flecks in it. He got really into it. And I said, yeah, and power wash the house. The outside of the house didn't need painting. Power wash it. Power wash the driveway. He did it. He spent $9,000. I went back yesterday and I did some new comps. We can raise the price $29,000. He spent $9,000.
Oh, wow.
We're going to raise it $29,000.
Yeah.
We're going to use a professional photographer that my assistant's going to set up for Monday. Now, he'll probably get an additional $25,000. But still, what kind of a deal is that?
That's a great deal.
Spend $9,000, probably get $25,000.
Yeah.
And he says, this looks great. I'm so glad I listened to you.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, he had the $9,000 to spend. Not everybody has that.
True.
But there are sometimes things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money to do. Sometimes it's just power washing. Sometimes it's just putting in brighter light bulbs. We went into one house where we said, look, your light bulbs in the kitchen make your kitchen look dark. Change them to the daylight color of light bulbs rather than the regular colors. He did it, and he said, oh, my gosh, this is amazing.
It is amazing.
So sometimes we can help just by going and making suggestions, little suggestions that don't cost much money.
Correct.
So we're going to tell you about that new house next week after the professional photos are taken on Monday. It's going to be on the market next Thursday night. So that house is really, really good looking. It's going to be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet, under $100 a square foot. Whatever your real estate questions, we're here to help you. Call us after the show if you have any questions. Our contact number is 421-7950. You want to call
That
me?
is not a cell phone number, by the way, so don't text. I had someone texting me, a radio show listener was texting that telephone number, but that's not. It's the number that sits on my desk and then gets forwarded to my phone.
All right, well, call me directly. Okay, 687-8161. All right?
687-8161.
You know what it's time for? That's right. It's time for our hot deals of the day, and we have an open house today that our associate is going to be at. Rob, our cool associate. Angela and I aren't really cool.
I'm very cool. I do not know what you're talking about.
Rob is cool because he's a member of the drum line of the Jags. So
that does make him pretty cool. It increases his cool factor a lot.
It's in Samara Lakes off of the World Golf Village exit.
Big house.
It is on Notchaway. So tell everybody about that one, Angela.
Okay, so the address is 1209 Notchaway. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. It has both a living room and a family room. Has a huge loft upstairs. All of the rooms are really big. There's a nice size, real big fenced yard. It's got 3,164 square feet. It was built in 2007. There are no CDD fees. And the HOA is really low. It's only $137 a quarter. So that
Not a month, a quarter.
Right. So that has a pool, playground, basketball, all the things communities love. And people can go congregate and meet each other. This is value priced at $315,000. That's $100 a square foot. And all of the new homes that are being built in there, which is primarily, maybe what we would consider to be the competition for that, they're going in at $120 a square foot. So I say, why? Why would you want to spend $120 a square foot when you could spend $100 a square foot?
And especially you'd have to wait 6, 7, 8 months to get it built.
Yeah. And while this is a 2-story home, there is a full bedroom and bathroom downstairs.
Yeah, it's not the master, but it's great for guests.
That's right. Great for guests.
Big rooms in this house.
Oh, man.
Plus that loft upstairs. It's really, really good. Yeah. Okay, also on the west side, if you really want value, on the west side, houses are cheaper per square foot.
Yep.
So off of Normandy, and it's a newer house built in 2014, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet with a fenced yard and a fire pit, 42-inch cabinets, crown molding. This house is immaculate. In fact, one of the people that saw it yesterday said it looked like it was a staged model.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really gorgeous.
$185,000 for a 1,740 square foot home. Low fees, a pool, a fitness center. It's in Winchester Ridge.
Yes.
The address is the street is Hidden Foal.
Foal.
Right, like a horse.
Yes.
So call us.
And
we'll get you
house number is 15306.
Yeah, if you can't remember that, just call us and we'll tell you how to get in. This house is
plus
gorgeous.
It's on our website, angelaandhoward.com.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, you want something really big? You go to Palencia.
Yes.
And that is over 4,000 square feet.
Oh, yeah.
Almost 4,300 square feet.
Yep.
That's $523,000. And if you want some more information about that, just give us a call. Hey, folks, again, it is Veterans Day. Call a veteran and tell them thank you for their service to our country. All of you know a veteran. Give them a call today. Make them feel good. The veterans, the Van Wees, are on tap to tell you what has happened this past week in the financial sector. And we want you to know that we thank our veterans for their service this week. And you need a professional on your side, whether you're buying or selling for the most important financial transaction probably in your life. Angela and I are here to help you. We want you to have a blessed day. We're going to be back with you again live next week. Call us if you need us. My number is 687-8161. Angela, 465-3845. God bless you, everyone. Have a great week. We'll be back with you next week. Take care, everybody.